starting off, if you're begging for something really laid back, this is for you. This episode is merely a compilation lampshading the Paisano's video game career, and it doesn't go any further than that. My favorite skits of the bunch have to be Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Land, Mario Paint, Mario Party, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and finally, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In my opinion, I don't feel like these types of videos need to be rated due to their simplicity. It's entertaining, but there's hardly anything to talk about, except for what it means about the series. You'll see. Me and my friend noticed the praise for being just like the good old days because how basic it is. If they were actually right, I expect the production values to be much lower and forget what a Nintendo Switch is. Remember what I said about the bird's butthole claiming this show is similar to Dorkly, aka generic video game parodies? Well, what if I told you this episode is a sign of what SMG4 could have become if it never tried to stand out? Take away the established characters, the adventures with stakes, maybe even the personality the creator has, and you get this, but on a more frequent basis. This is what the show's detractors believe it should be. Predictable machinima that doesn't experiment and only practices as Mario parody without making fun of anything else. And I assure you that's not what its peak era was, or the current era is that for the matter. Since SMG4 is the antithesis of official Mario universe, taking a spin on things by showing what a real plumber will never do aside from interpreting mushrooms as drugs and such. Believe it or not, the show today does stand out of form from the typical Mario parody because of its dedication to a long term. Unlike something else you find in your recommendations that hasn't been popular for years. I'm not saying this episode sucks, or every Mario comedy is unoriginal, but it does feel aimless in comparison. Not to mention the redundant and out of place because the stupid Mario sub-series exists, and the 35th anniversary already passed. My tinfoil hat says this was made in response to the previous video's non-controversy if it was planned in advance because they know this community doesn't watch anything else. And that's what coming from someone who thinks Luke should be keeping in touch with his roots. With all that said, at least this next one's a real treat and will lighten the mood. I hope.
Hey everybody, I'm Rick Harrison, and this is my pawn shop.
Are you sure about that?
Don't see it! No!
Bob opens up a pawn shop to earn the money back from a gambling loss, since he bet his hotel, thus jeopardizing Maggie's way of living. The tomboy is justifiably reluctant to work with the Garo because he's untrustworthy with cash. He makes a rebuttal that he set up the hotel for her in the first place when she was on vacation, so they're forced to sell random items to get her home back. During their business, Bob rips off his best friend, selling a can of beans that help him get girlfriends, supposedly. And Maggie sells a shoe to Mario, claiming it was worn by Bernardino de Sahagún, the inventor of tomato sauce. The sales make her feel confident of the business, but her co-worker describes her as hopeless, despite having the same goal. Luigi brings in King Boo's crystal, and Bob wants to buy it for a modest price, but he changes his mind to sell it on the Empire of Bezos, embarrassing him. Her competitive nature blossoms, and Maggie determines to run the shop better than he could.
Oh, it's on, bitch!
But an elderly mushroom attempts to rob the place, and Maggie takes away his weapon in self-defense. The force arrives at a bad time, blaming she was the perpetrator, thanks to Bob, and she gets arrested. In prison, Maggie finds a Freddy plush in her pocket and tries to give it to Swap, but refuses the bribe. He lets her go when he learns that he can't sell it for anything he wants. However, Bob has turned the place into a flower shop, so she barges in rage for getting framed. But Bob summons a plan to hold her off so he can explain everything. He planned to push in progress so she could go free, and he had time to disguise their operation so the law could get off their case. He lied just to save his own ass, and she doesn't know. They continue pawning off their stock until they can afford to split the money. Maggie purchases her suit pendant from Bob's hotel, and he gambled his soul away to the same casino. Never change, my guy. Never change. This episode is a brand new classic, as it's just about everything I could have asked for. Originality. The pacing is excellent, the characters are funny, the animation got a boost in quality, and the plot is very well done, so it gets a perfect score. It's another example of why Mario doesn't always need to carry an episode when it comes to his appearances. Bob is entertaining as ever for a money-hungry bastard. Because here's the thing. When it comes to these types of characters, it must be used sparsely or wisely. Surrounding your own show with greedy characters can easily screw it over, believe me. One is more than enough to make a rich asshole entertaining. And Bob brought up a good point about Maggie's caregiver. The reason why he opened the pawn shop was to make up for his mistakes to enter back her home. You don't have to agree with him because he nearly sabotaged the business by pinning it on Maggie instead of the robber, and made his scheme up just so she could leave him alone. But you can still respect his initial goal. As for Maggie, she's pretty easy to be entertained by, at least what anyone's saying. But when it comes to competing the worthwhile cause, that's something we can all root for, and it was smart of her to separate her room from the building. Also, this is a good time to talk about her recasting. After Do Not Enter was released, they revealed Lizzie had stepped down from the role due to various projects eating her up time in her personal life. So she left Glitch on good terms. Elsie Lovelock, better known as Murder Drone's Uzi, took over voicing Maggie. As shown in this episode, I personally think Lizzie was a perfect fit for the character, but Elsie's talent is paying off with her so far and could potentially ascend with the next season of Sunset Paradise. If only the Sonic community could have survived by not arguing who the definitive blue bird is like this. But that's its own can of worms. Speaking of which, it's time for what the community was warned about.
Disgusting black creatures, get out of my sight.
Psycho's holding auditions for a band she wants to be in, starring with Mario, 4, and Maggie, showcasing they've been out of practice for nearly 4 years and how anime instruments really sound like. Frustrated with the multitude of rejections, she takes Tari in her secret room to use her runner arm, bringing Kaizo into the world. The brothers arrive and bump into a new acquaintances as Mario greets them with an attack, and then the Dante knockoff decapitates him. The same old, same old. Kaizo then explains his history with Psycho in the Kevin Smooth game, where they play a rock as KS2 and destroy public property, activity friends with benefits totally do. He's upset that she abandoned him for a good amount of time. Psycho wanted him to tag along, but had no idea how to bring him over and was distracted with her friend's adventures. They catch up by reuniting their old band, but Kaizo notices Psycho's lacking in the fury and chaos she once had. He encouraged her to wreck her belongings, but Tari warns her from doing so, claiming that this isn't her. Psycho goes through with it anyway by breaking her lamp, and the edgelord duo goes on a rampage in the city. Mario's completely fine with the ruckus going on, but Luigi and Tari felt they were going too far due to their responsibility instinct. Using their friendship powers, they attempt to stop them, but continue to do damage. Trying again with a stronger heart, they win back Psycho's heart, much to Kaizo's dismay. She tells him her time in the Mushroom Kingdom and settle her down. Learning there's more to life than being a nihilist rock star, he walks off disappointed. Mario wants to hang out with his new demon buddy, but he's already gone. Seems like leaving as a universal anchor can be tragically boring at times. 7 out of 10. I'm not afraid of throwing the score out of the game. Why? Because I actually like Kaizo's character so far, and he and Psycho are a good juxtaposition to the flower power Luigi and Tari. When he was created, the guy resembled a Sora lookalike, but today he reminds me of a Soul from Soul Eater, who is definitely their inspiration. He was intended to be her ex-boyfriend, but their flashback portrayed their relationship more platonically than expected, especially for a dating sim. So a certain pairing isn't ruled out. There's still a chance Psycho has her eyes on someone else. Wink wink. I love how Psycho understands that she doesn't have to be completely ready for her entertainment. Her attitude is more appropriate for kicking ass when her friends are in trouble or when she's making music. Though I imagine the two might have made some epic tunes I take a listen to. As for Mario, he's pretty much the arbitrary comedic relief who ironically couldn't save the video's performance in this first week. Despite the popular guy getting top billing, the algorithm decided to ignore them yet again, which reconfirms the few counts do not equal quality. I don't have a problem with Mario personally. I hate that he's used as a crutch for the original episode, which can make his appearance futile as a result. I guess the lack of colors in the thumbnail and the demon looking unrelated to Kaizo's life not help, but it proves my point that originality is difficult to become popular. This also kind of happened with the last episode when it renamed to Mario Gets Scammed, which was misleading because that was a brief plot point, and the backlash forced them to change it back. I'm assuming that's what happens since the fan space suffers from this.
You have to put yourself into it! No, silly, you must follow the rules. Recipe, schmecipe, and go with the flow! Stop, the customer's always right. Let yourself go! Stay inside the lines. Feel the food. Cook by the book.
Both sides decide for the team not to rely on the plumber in favor on something that stands out. The problem is one that will reject it instantly because anything anime related rustles is Jimmy's. Kaizo has only appeared in 2 episodes and they already disliked him, despite awareness of his creation in the 5 million stream. To tell you the truth about these characters being on the place,
I don't give a shit! Shit!
saying these designs don't belong in the show that satirize different types of media is like saying what countries shouldn't be included in the world map. If they're correct about Glitch mishandling their own property, then I'd love to see them convince the Green Simpsons guy to make another Pixar Y2P. Point is, I keep urging my followers and crew to extend to avoid this way of thinking so they have creative control over their show. I don't know about you, but I will listen to a guy complains about text-to-speech voices sounding unnatural when his favorite character uses text-to-speech program. This is why I form my opinions by watching something first instead of looking at reviews beforehand. If Look didn't care about unique videos, then stuff like the cursed tapes and palm bases wouldn't exist at all. Period. Let's go take a look at this month's final video.
One, unzip your pants. On the count of 2, take out your penises.
Mario drives a lemon to a mall because his cart's in the shop, and after he parks he gives himself CPT yet again with a car door. Trying to pull it out, he looks like he's mimicking Adam Sandler in 8 Crazy Nights, and I apologize for referencing that movie. Calling Nike for help, he drags his car to the raceway, but Plumber asks him to go back. The Mushroom Bandit from 2 episodes ago attempts to rob the mall during Karen's shift and chooses Mario's car for his getaway. The guy turns out to be Shroomi's grandpa while he runs his grandson over. Surely what's on his family tree is up to the imagination. Monitor pursues them, making Mario call for help. He chooses Kirby to star in his 3rd main appearance and launches him into a car, losing the cops. They arrive at the hospital, so Mario waits in line for a checkup. The doctor suggests amputation or circumcisions, though no one would tell the difference. Meanwhile, the guards are there for Chris' checkup as Swag eavesdrops on Mario's predicament instantly, giving him PTSD. He issues an evacuation of the hospital and calls his squad, while Chris goes through with his appointment and gets himself some big wumpas. They await the return of the evil door aliens, but all he had to do was not to play anonymous music and they would flip off to their own planet. Before they could crush their crown jewels, they retaliate by doing it itself, dealing damage to the aliens. They deploy their secret weapon, leaving them hopeless, but Swag takes a page from Mario, so the squad drives Turners outside of their doors. They must have been trained hard enough to gain balls of steel. After a homage to the later Fast and the Furious movies, the door aliens retreat and Swag suggests blowing up Mario's car to finally help him, implying it's his best option. 8 out of 10, a solid successor to the 2-year-old original. I personally think it surpasses it because I remember the first one being decent but not falling in love with it. The episode is a jack of all trades when it comes to characters, comedy, and pacing, though the beginning had potential for more antics as Mario had infinite opportunities for resolutions. The initial D-climax was a swell surprise and really cool to watch. And as usual, I stand my argument that character appearance or cameos alone don't make or break a video. It's their actions that justify the score. If I went by their logic, where's the fanfare when Wario and Luigi show up in an episode since their series ended 6 years ago? Because I like to see them try to say GNR's full name in public without getting any looks. I'm not against Swag and Chris having their own episode again, but I wouldn't prioritize it over everything else like a certain fan does. To any GNR fan who's fine with what they got over the years, then good for you. That wraps it up for the third of the summer, ladies and gentlemen. And it feels like fall is already closer to us. Thank you guys for tuning in, and welcome to anyone new here. I got a playlist of SMG4 reviews you might want to check out, and I'll stream on Sundays to talk about the episodes and other topics in case you're itching to chat with me. As always, stay safe, wear a mask, get vaxxed, hope you're cooling down at home or on vacation, and peace out.
I know where your head's at, shit.
Hey, you.